Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Bree Love, and you are now tuned in to Clayton State Internet Radio. Motivational Mondays. It's a pretty day outside, and we are back at it again. Jamerson Davis is in the building.
What's going on, everybody? Jamerson Davis coming to you all the way from Clayton State University, CSIR, man. We in the building.
You already know it. And Spreaker, listeners, everybody, I have a very, very, very good friend of mine in here today with us. His name is Mr. David Jackson Jr. Talk to the people, Mr. Jackson.
How's it going, everybody? My name is David Jackson Jr., and I'm here today with Jamerson and Bree just to give you guys some words of inspiration and encouragement on jumping off the porch and being courageous today.
Yeah, so he just jumped right into the topic. I mean, hey, this is boss man, so, you know, I can't really waste his time too much. So I was really going to give y'all a little recap of my weekend and how things have been going for me.
Okay.
It's been going pretty good. I graduate May 6th, so a little under a month until I, you know, cross the stage. Getting a little jittery. Lately I've been a little, you know, emotional kind of sort of as the last days are here. But I've been doing pretty good. Did y'all have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was good, you know, always grinding, but it was definitely good.
Yeah.
Right. Weekend full of activities.
Right.
I managed to relax yesterday, so that was
Okay. That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Relaxation is good.
Use Sunday as a rest day. I understand. Well, yeah, so like David was saying, the topic for today is jump off of the porch. Be courageous. So whenever you guys think about jumping off of the porch, what do y'all think about? Because I have a story for mine. So do y'all think about anything in particular?
Man, I feel like, you know, you jumping into faith. You know, you letting, like, all the, I guess, whatever's going on with you as a person, you letting it go. You know what I'm saying? You jumping out there to, like, if you're trying to get a new job. You know, you're jumping off the porch to get that new job.
Yeah.
If it's something in a relationship, you know, you're trying to pursue a new person, you jumping off the porch, say, look, I ain't scared, I'm going to approach her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You're jumping off the porch. So that's what I think it means to me, jumping off the porch. So that's what I think.
What about you, David?
Well, when I think about jumping off the porch, of course I think about, you know, of course going to some goal or some dream or doing something. But I think the most important part of, like, jumping off the porch for me is the sensation of doing just that, the jumping, the getting to that point and then realizing that where you are and then where you want to be, there has to be a jump, a leap, a step or something that gets you from A to B. And I think, I just think about that feeling of going, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to jump, or I'm going to take this step, or I'm going to make this move, talking to that girl or graduating or getting that job or whatever you're doing. I'm just thinking about that feeling that everybody gets right before they actually go do what it is they do. That's a very intense feeling. And so when I think about jumping off the porch, I'm just thinking about the jumping. Because right now I'm in this phase in my life where I am jumping from, you know, having, you know, graduated from college and all that good stuff. So, and you're jumping into and so are you. You're about to enter that stage.
Yeah,
and then when she leaves, you'll be sitting in this seat. So everybody's about to make a jump or a leap. And I'm just thinking about the fact that is kind of where I am right now in the process of jumping off the porch. So this is no coincidence that I'm here talking about this today.
Okay,
perfect.
good. I
So
like that.
with jumping off of the porch, now I have a story for everything. But growing up, I used to, for people who are listening in Warner Robins, I used to live in the States, right? And we didn't have a porch on our, you know, near our front door. We didn't have a porch.
Not in the States.
But
Okay. What's the States?
it's a neighborhood. It's a real homey type neighborhood.
Okay.
Like, you know, we knew our neighbors.
Culture.
We knew everybody. My grandmother stayed around the corner from us.
Grandma, no?
Yeah, my
Okay.
grandma. Yeah, all of that. So we didn't have a porch over there. We had a swing set in the backyard, and attached to our swing set there was a slide.
Okay.
And whenever we would go play in the back, I would sometimes get to the top of the slide and be like, dang, I want to jump off of this, but I'm kind of scared. So one day I built up enough courage and enough of all of the things that go into jumping. I built up enough of that, and surely I looked around to see, where I would land. And so my sister, she was coming up behind me, and like I was looking like, okay, do I want to slide down? Or do I want to just jump off the top of the slide? And she was behind me, and she was like, go. So I just jumped. But before I jumped, I looked to see what was. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I looked to see where I was going. Yeah. So when I jumped, I landed, and I was good. I was like, okay, it wasn't that high up. It wasn't that bad. So after that, I just kept doing it. Like, it was dumb because it was a slide. You're supposed to slide down. But after the first initial jump, I was like, okay, the landing wasn't bad. I need to do this more often. So what I'm trying to say is, leading to the first point, like, once you get over that first initial shock of actually jumping, then you'll be fine afterwards. So whether it be leaving a job that you do not want to be at, if that's not your dream, the first time you think about leaving, maybe it's going to take you a while to actually leave. But once you do it, you'll be like, okay, it wasn't that bad after all. So what do you guys think about that, I think they're stuck, guys. I think, they're like, okay, that was kind of deep. But I feel like once you peep out the surroundings and you peep out what it looks like on the other end, and you actually, think about how you will be okay after doing it, that should push you. And then to go back, like, if you have a support system behind you, like my sister, she wasn't doing it to support me, but she was there saying go. Like, on the other end, you have positive people like behind you saying, okay, if David wants to leave this job, I'm going to be like, okay, David, well, we talked about this enough, so go ahead and leave. Don't be scared, because you might miss out on what's really out there for you. So that was really point number one, to get over that initial shock and to move forward without thinking about what you may really think is out there. So that was point number one. Point number two, prepare yourself. So before jumping or before leaving, you can't just, I'm going to go back to the job. You don't want to leave one job and not have something already lined up.
Yeah,
now,
say that.
I hear a lot of people say that sometimes, but I mean, come on, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. You guys have any examples of people who have done that, or stories that you've heard about that?
Where they left
and didn't have anything, in mind, at least.
Well, every situation is different.
That's true.
I normally set things up, the different jobs I had. But it was one situation where I didn't have a job when I left that job. And I was in a place in my life, I was like in a real dark place.
Okay.
And I just really got sick and tired of chasing money. I was a sales guy. I was selling for Sears. And, it was a real good company, and I made some real good money. But I was very frustrated and stressed out, in that point of my life. And the reason behind it is because I just had like the dollar figure on the front of my forehead instead of actually figuring out what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so, just who I believe in as a person just was talking to my heart and told me it was time to go. And so I really didn't have a plan. I didn't have like another job at the time. But knowing the person that I am, it's not really hard to get another job. I mean, not to brag or anything like that, but I just know what to do to get, get a job. So I took about 3 months off. So I think it was around about January. And so I didn't really actually get a job until April. So, within that 3 month period of time, I pretty much was just trying to find myself. Yeah. So some situations with people is different. You know, I'm not suggesting that you do that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No. I agree.
Yeah.
What I guess I meant to say was, like, at least have a thought of
Correct.
What it is. Like, don't just leave because it's not going how you
Correct.
don't like how it's going or whatever.
Yeah.
Leave if you have a bigger thing in mind, or you think something else is out there for you, then leave. And if you have something lined up, perfect. But don't just be like, okay, I hate my boss, I'm leaving. Because that's not, that's not what we're talking about here. So
But what I can say, Bree, for those people who do feel like that, what you can do if you need to be able to strategize and plan your next move, what a mentor told me is that, save 6 months of what your bills is. So, whatever that is, and if you save that, so if you do leave, you got 6 months to be able to make something happen.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's a good enough time to be able to make your next move.
And I was going to kind of like reinforce what you were saying with, because I've been in jobs. I'm sure I've told you about a few of them that I didn't care to work for, that I didn't care to work with or anything like that. But I think for me the biggest thing is situational awareness and I guess circumstantial awareness, and it goes back to resources, like he just said. Like if you want to quit your job, if you don't want to keep doing what you're doing, if you're not comfortable where you are, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to be. I think that's a very good indicator that it's time for you to move. If you start getting, those sorts of thoughts, those sorts of feelings, but you still have to keep in mind at the same time that resources play a very big part of your life, if not the biggest part, because some people say your budget controls your priorities, stuff like that. In the country that we live in the world that we live in, it is very difficult, not impossible, but it's very difficult to do things the way you want to do them without having yourself situated financially. This is what I'm talking about. So it's very important that, like, if you're going to leave a job, if you want to go get another one, if you want to go chase a dream of just starting a business out of the blue, you need to make sure that, I would say, for at least 6 months, like Jamerson said, that's something my grandmother always told me. When you get a job, make sure you save up 6 months of supporting yourself, just in case. Not if you want to leave, not if you're going on vacation, just in case, because you never know what happens. And life is life, and things happen every single day. So if you are going to go out there and jump off the porch, you gotta make sure you got some stuff with you when you finally make it on the ground, and when you finally get where you're going, or that you have something to help you while you're falling down or getting to where you gotta go, because you're just gonna need that support. Even people who jump out of planes have parachutes.
Right.
Cars come with airbags and seat belts. You need those reinforcements. You need those ancillary things, those necessary parts of existing. So keep those in mind. Right. Before you jump off the porch. Right.
Because if
make sure your shoes are tied.
Ooh, that's going to be
because you might trip yourself up.
Right.
Just trying to get off.
I mean, good grief. But so back to what Jamerson was saying when he stated that he talked to his mentor. Like, I know I just said it with support system, but I'm all for that. Like, have some people within your corner if you can. If not, seek help. But have some people that will, help you along the way. Because I've heard stories from different people who have done similar things. Some people went to school, maybe, and, found out that, okay, school just... I can do what I really want to do without it or whatever. So just having those people in your corner would do you a lot of justice. So point number 1 was get over the initial shock. By getting over the shock, you just have to do it. Point number 2, prepare yourself before you decide to jump. So like we just said on the fly was make sure your shoes are tied before you jump off of the porch. Then number 3, if you want something and it calls for you to be brave, then if you really, 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 really want it, I mean, I just can't put it into any other words, but if you want it, you will go and get it.
Okay.
So, I mean...
Period.
Yeah, like, if you want it, you will go through being uncomfortable, you will go through being afraid, you will... Eventually, you're going to jump. Like, if you're curious, you're going to jump. If you want it, you're going to jump. So, do you guys agree with that? I'm sure you do.
I definitely agree. And I think it's interesting that I listen to this recording every morning. It's on YouTube, so go check it out if you want to. It's by a poet. His name is Charles, and I think the way he pronounced his last name is Bugowski. But it's a 2-minute video called Go All the Way. And he essentially says that whatever your goals are, whether you are, like I said, starting a business, going to school, going to get your graduate degree, hosting a radio show, or simply running a mile, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, you should be going all the way for it. And I think that part of jumping off the porch and part of being courageous just means you have to reinforce to yourself that this may mean losing or sacrificing a great many of things, but do not be afraid to to let those things